Hi, it's Filo. This year my reading goal is to be more intentional with my reading, so I'm reading big books as my main focus, and at the same time I also read lighter, shorter ones because that helps motivate me. So that means that I may post reading journal updates every 2 months instead of every month sometimes, which is the case here because this is a reading journal update of the books I read in February and March. First is Undercurrent by Tetsuya Toyoda from Japan. It's a manga about Kanae, who runs a public bath alone since her husband has mysteriously gone missing months ago. And a new assistant comes to help her. So there are mysteries, like what happened with her husband, and more mysteries that come up along the story, but it's more cozy everyday life with her work and neighbors. The characters are meant to be mysterious in a way, so you don't feel like you know them too much, you're always at a distance and you're kept ignorant of some personal things. Not much happens, except suddenly every 50 pages or so when there's a big reveal and you're stunned, but it's still quiet. It never feels like a big twist after all, even though it kind of is, because it's toned down. And I like that. The fact that it's not dramatic at all, even if the events are tragic, it's very calm and quiet, and the reader can choose to stop and imagine how he would feel in their place, or just keep reading. I think it had potential. There are a few moments where I could have read a whole novel about what the protagonists were experiencing and their feelings, but it's more meant to be reflective. Now, that was my first manga ever, so I'm more used to words than illustrations. And here the illustrations are fine, but I mean, it's a manga, so they're supposed to set the whole atmosphere, and I didn't really vibe with his style. I felt like they didn't really bring much to the story, in my opinion, but maybe I'm not much of a manga reader anyway. And there was also a touch of humor that didn't really hit it for me either, but that's very personal. So all in all, I think there was potential, but in the end there's not much to remember. So yeah, all the books you read don't have to be that deep, but I like them to be a bit more entertaining. And I don't think there is anything wrong with this one, I just don't feel like reading it has made a difference to me. So I gave this one 2 stars. Nothing wrong with it, but nothing stands out either. And that was another book gifted to me by my sister, but this one unfortunately didn't hit the mark as much as Korak did in January. The second book was Death in Castle Dark by Veronica Bond from the US. It's the first book in a series titled Dinner and a Murder Mystery. We follow Nora, who is cast in a troupe that performs interactive shows that include dinner and murder mystery in a castle. She moves there with the troupe, but then things take a turn when there's a real murder. So that reminded me of Clue. Here, the author does a really good job at setting the castle. There's a map at the beginning of the book, but I didn't need to look it up. And I also liked how she builds the characters. You get to know each of them enough and suspect everyone because they all have a motive. She also maintains the rhythm throughout the whole book, with revelations and a little bit of clean romance. It's cozy and entertaining at the same time, so it's a quick read and I liked the mystery, but what I liked most is how it's set. I love the references to Gothic novels like Jane Eyre, Rebecca, the Bronte sisters, or Victoria Holt that clearly influenced her, but don't expect the same style or depth. It's a lighter read. It's set in a Gothic atmosphere, but it's meant to be cozy, it's really not scary, and not that dark. It's even a bit cheesy at times, but not enough to make me cringe. So it's okay. And there's a second standalone in this series. It's called Castle Deadly, Castle Deep. So that goes right to my TBR. To illustrate this page, I mainly used stationery I got in my last unboxing from Journalsay. I did kind of a panel with the suspects. Unfortunately, I don't find stickers with men easily. It's always girls. But there are male suspects in the story, of course. And then I wanted to feature the kitten that appear in the book and add more coziness and, of course, chaos and contribute in their way to the story. So I put stickers from the Washi Tape Shop. And the big book I read in February and March was Middlemarch, A Study of Provincial Life by George Eliot, the pen name of Marianne Evans from the UK. It's her epic humanist novel written in 1971, a realistic work that studies society in the fictional town of Middlemarch. Through a variety of characters, idealist and ambitious, we are given a complete view on social worries of the 19th century, and they're not that different from now. There's not really one protagonist and one antagonist. Here we're introduced to the villagers little by little, so it's easy not to feel overwhelmed. And since she takes her time to dedicate entire chapters to them, they're easy to picture out, you really grow attached to them, and they'll stay with you. We see how they want to be someone, shape their future, and change the world. We witness how they take big decisions, sometimes good decisions and sometimes not that good, but those decisions are what will define their lives. What strikes me the most is that it was written in 1871 and it still holds so much truth today. You have all possible motivations in life and you get to see what happens when they take certain decisions about marriage, work, and money. I love books that illustrate and convey values. It makes them timeless and memorable. And Middlemarch is exactly that. You have humility, generosity, integrity, selflessness, and honesty, but it's not like there's a perfect character, full of virtues. It's about flawed characters like you and me. Tolstoy was very fond of Middlemarch. He read it many times, and in fact, you can tell it influenced him when he wrote Anna Karenina. I love Anna Karenina. But I have to say that Middlemarch was very hard to read for me because, well, first of all, English is not my first language. Can you tell? It's not even my second language, but it was so worth it. It's very interesting and realistic more than romantic, and it was so sarcastic. That was surprisingly funny at times. Anyway, that's a 5 stars for me. I even had to set up 2 spreads in my reading journal, But in the end, it wasn't even enough. I wrote 3 pages and I could probably go on forever. And those are the 3 books I read in February and March. Tell me if you've read one of them and share your recommendations in the comments. If you've made it till the end, leave me this emoji. And if something caught your eye, everything I used is linked down below with my discount codes. If you enjoy my reviews or these pages, don't forget to like and subscribe so that this video can reach more readers like you. I'll see you soon with another video, and until then, enjoy reading!